Hello, fourth grade, and good morning, and happy Monday. This is Monday's ELA lesson. So, right here, I've got our vocab words for the week. We're going to review them real quick before starting today's story, which is called The Talent Show. This word is accountable. It means to hold someone responsible for something. So here it says Sam is held accountable for washing his dog. So even here it says that the words accountable and responsible are similar. Advise. So a coach can advise you on how to improve your swimming. So when you advise someone, it's the action form of advice. So you're trying to tell someone something that could help them. So when someone advises you on something, they're trying to tell you how you can improve your swimming or how you play a certain sport or how you're doing your homework. The word desperately right here. The woman was desperately trying to remember where she had left her keys. So the word desperately, it's a describing word or an adjective. So it's someone who is really trying to do something in almost a panicky way. So if you lose something that's very valuable, like this woman lost her keys, you're going to be very anxious or almost in a panic because you need to find something. So you're desperately trying to find it. Hesitated. So when you hesitate, you're pausing because you're not sure about it. So right here, the dog hesitated before jumping up to grab the food off the counter. So he's stopping because he knows he is not supposed to do that. Right? Any of you who have a dog, you know that sometimes they do something they're not supposed to do, and maybe they pause and think about it, and you probably do the same thing if you're doing something you're not supposed to do. Humiliated. So Sarah felt humiliated when she forgot her lines. So when you feel humiliated, you're feeling embarrassed. Inspiration. So last week we had the word inspire. This word is the noun form of inspire. The girl found inspiration for her drawing in nature. So something that gives you inspiration, it may give you an idea, or it may give you hope for something, or it could give you the desire to want to try something new. So you can get ideas from inspiration, or maybe you will get more creative from inspiration. Self-esteem. Winning the soccer championship helped improve, this is blocking, Billy's confidence and self-esteem. All right. So self-esteem, in your guidance lessons, you'll probably hear this from Mrs. Boatwright a lot. The word self-esteem, it's something that you feel in yourself. It has to do with confidence. It's how you feel about yourself. So someone who has low self-esteem may doubt themselves a lot, or they may not feel very confident in themselves. Someone with high self-esteem is the exact opposite. They don't doubt themselves, or even if they do, they're willing to try to do something. And even if they aren't totally confident in themselves, they're still willing to try because they believe in themselves. The word uncomfortably. So you probably know the word uncomfortable. When you feel uncomfortable, you might not be feeling very great. Maybe you're in a weird position. Maybe you're sitting on a chair that's too hard. Or maybe you play a sport, and sometimes the next day, if you played really hard, you might feel a little sore in your legs. All right, now that we've gone over words, we're going to go ahead and read our story, The Talent Show. This is realistic fiction, so that means it is fictional. It didn't really happen, but it could, because there are elements in the story that are very realistic. So the scenario, especially in the story, is realistic. Our essential question for the week is, how do your actions affect others? We're going to read about how one person's actions affect our main character, Mora. Okay. And we're going to get started. Tina, there's a school talent show in 3 weeks. I shouted to my best friend. My older brother had been teaching me juggling, and I knew he'd help me with my act for the show. Tina ran over to the bulletin board and read the poster. Mora, what's our act going to be? Tina asked me. Our act, I said, taking a tighter grip on my books. Tina grinned, pointed to the poster, and said, it says acts can be individuals, partners, or small groups. My grip on my books became uncomfortably tight. So she's gripping her books really hard. You want to do an act together? It'll be fun, Tina said. I hesitated for a second before continuing. I've got an idea, and Tina interrupted me. Yeah, me too. Let's talk at lunch. So far, it kind of seems like Tina's bossy. During math, I tried to think of how I would tell Tina that I wanted to do my own act. After all, we are best friends. We should be able to see eye to eye about this. The problem is, Tina always takes charge. I don't speak up, and then I end up feeling resentful about the whole situation. Resentful, it just means that she's feeling kind of, well, I'm trying to think of another word for resentful. Bitter? Or she's just feeling a little upset about it. She's not happy with it. She doesn't feel like she's gaining anything from this situation. I desperately wanted to win, but it was more than that. I wanted to win on my own, with an act that was all mine. So far, we've got a situation where she has a friend, but her friend is very dominant. She likes to be the boss, but moreover here is not a very bossy person, and she wants to do her own act, but Tina wants to do one together. So I wonder if they can figure out a way to work together where they would both be happy. At lunch, Tina started talking as soon as we sat down. I have it all planned out. My inspiration came from that new TV show, You've Got Talent. We can sing along to a song and do a dance routine, and my mother can make us costumes. So she's already got a whole act planned out. Yeah, that's good, I said, but I had another idea. I told her about my juggling act. Tina considered it. Nah, I don't think I can learn to juggle in 3 weeks, and I'd probably drop the balls. She said, we don't want to be humiliated, right? At recess, I ran around the track a couple of times just to let off steam. So she's pretty upset, and she's trying to make herself feel better by running around. When my grandmother picked me up after school, she drove a few minutes and finally said, "Cat got your tongue?" Yeah, so "cat got your tongue" is just a play on words. It doesn't literally mean that a cat has your tongue. What it means is you're being awfully quiet and you're not saying much. I explained about the talent show as she listened carefully. So Tina is not being respectful of your ideas, but it sounds as if you aren't either. What? I shouted. I told Tina her idea was good. No, said my grandmother. I said that you weren't respectful of your own ideas, or you would have spoken up. I understand that you're friends, but you're still accountable for your own actions. Hmm. So her grandma's telling her, hey, stand up for yourself. Meaning, you know, tell Tina what you want and that you're going to do what you want to do. So, and she's also saying you're accountable for your own actions. So that means you may not be able to control what someone else is doing, but you can control what you do. So just looking at the illustrations here, this person I'm thinking is Tina, and she's not looking happy. This person must be Mora. And I can tell it's Tina because she wants to do a dance routine and she's holding a pair of dance shoes. I thought about this. So, what should I do? I asked. I advise you to tell the truth, she said. It wouldn't hurt to let Tina know what you want. Besides, my grandmother added, it will be good for your self-esteem. When we got home, I took 12 deep breaths, called Tina, and told her that I was going to do my juggling act. She was curt on the phone. So that word curt, C-U-R-T, just means that the way you're speaking sounds angry and very short. So if I said something curt, I might say, oh, all right, and then hang up. And I spent all night worrying she would be mad at me. The next day, she described her act in her costume, but the biggest surprise came at recess when we played a game that I chose, not Tina. I guess standing up for myself did pay off. Okay, so our question for today, talk about how Mora was affected by Tina's actions. So the main question of the story is how your actions affect others, because they really do, don't they? The way you treat somebody affects how another person feels. So let's think about how this story describes Mora's feelings anytime Tina does something. So I'm going to take us back to a certain part of the story. So I'm going to go to lunchtime when they started talking about it. And then when Mora says, hey, I got another idea. And then Tina says, nah, I don't want to do that. Well, let's look at what Mora did right after that. At recess, I ran around the track a couple of times just to let off steam. So that's a clue that she felt upset and kind of angry about it. It made her feel bad. So I think that Mora's actions, or Mora was affected by Tina's actions because when Tina was pushing her idea and not listening to Mora, she felt upset. So, yeah, and you probably can relate to that. I'm sure some of you have had friends like that. All right, so that is the end of our lesson. You do have some questions attached to this assignment. So make sure you click on Start Test. It's a green button. And then make sure that you answer all of them And you'll know you're on the last question when you see complete test at the bottom.